getting him to soften to the bit, because that's the important part. I want him to be comfortable with it. So I do it almost like 3 times, so he doesn't just do it once.
And now you look at the line of her hand as she does that. See how it's coming up? It's coming up.
So it's like where my hand would be when I'm riding. So after that, I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing with the hindquarters.
So she softened the head, she moves the hindquarters.
Thing that I think I'll just talk about briefly is moving that shoulder. And I want him to be able to move away from me if I walk into him. This is my space, and he's supposed to get out of it. So if you saw that, this is the pressure that I'm giving him. And he's moving that front end away from me. And I want this leg that's closest to me to move forward and in front of that other leg, because that's more of a forward movement than if you went like this. This is like backing up. This is no good, because that's not a forward movement, and you want your horse to be forward to accomplish this move, to be on the bit or collected or in the bridle. It works on just the horse being forward. And work on it so it's a cue, but I'm still getting him to move out of my space and to freely give that shoulder. I want that shoulder to give to my inside rein here. So what I'm going to do is take up the slack here on the inside and wait until this inside foreleg comes one step closer to me. You see how it's moving closer?
Yeah.
See, that would be him testing me to see if I would chase him around. See, when he stops like this? So I don't let him chase me around. I move his body back out of that circle.
And you're bringing the leg to the girth, bring energy to the girth, so she's throwing that energy at the girth. Lumbar span. So right now she's expanding his lumbar, she's softening that lumbar up for him, his loins.
Alright, so here is kind of neutral. I want to make sure I want to extend my elbows. I don't want to ride in a 90 degree. I want to have them relaxed and extended. That's what you were kind of looking for
A straight line from your elbow to the bit.
Yeah, you see where my hands are pointed to his mouth.
But see how she's in the box, Eve?
Yeah.
Her hands are in a box right now. She's a heck of a reiner to never leave the box.
And when I want to cue him for anything, I want to make sure if I'm going to move his hindquarters or move his shoulder, that he's in forward movement. It's going to work better if I bring him to a walk first and then ask him to disengage. It's going to put some energy into his body and make it easier for me to do these things. But if I'm just going to ask for him to give his head, as you can see that this is to my hip.
Now I would like you to bring your leg in just a little bit while you're doing that. So you can start to think it's always leg, so you're just barely going to touch him. Not enough so he takes off, but just touch him so you start thinking a little leg, a little hand, a little leg, a little hand.
Like they were going to touch the tips of his hair. But I also want to bring my eyes up and really can accentuate forward movement. Now I want him to really give you some energy, so I kind of brought my legs in a little more, and my body's a faster rhythm. But when I want to do a disengagement, I'm going to bring my hand to my hip and my leg behind me in V-stitch. So you see where it is? It's talking to the hindquarters. It's telling them to move away.
So she has her leg at position 3 and her hands at her hip, and you see how she's letting her inside shoulder come around? I don't know if you can see that in your camera, but you want to let that inside shoulder come back and the outside shoulder come forward.
So I'm gonna kind of do this. So I'll do that again. When I do ask for the rein also, I'm going to shorten up. Bring my hand up, shorten up on that rein and bring it to my hip.
And now she's just kind of working it nice and soft. She's working those hindquarters around, and she's got him in her hand, and when he softens, she lets go.
So I usually don't ask for that much, but I wanted to make sure you see what's happening. All right, so,
And the other,
and again, I'm going to move forward into a walk. And it's the triangle. Is that going to help with this?
I forgot to talk about the triangle. I just talked about opening that rein to the side. Open that left hand to the side. Don't let the right hand cross the withers. And then
So this is just going to help talk to that shoulder. Just like when I was on the ground doing the short lunge, this brings that shoulder to the inside of the circle.
but she's got her inside leg working him. It's not about her hands. She's working him with her leg. See how her outside leg is back at position 3? Her inside leg is at position 1. And she's working his body, and that's what's getting him soft. It's not her pulling his head around. All she's doing is opening that rein, and then she's driving him up with her legs. I don't think she's going to get to that today.
No, but that's...
He's gotten him so he's pretty darn soft in the walk, but then when he comes up to that transition to the gait, he goes stiff again. I mean, he definitely needs another, if you can get him back here again, he definitely needs he needs at least another month of softening. Because what happens is he can stay soft in the walk, but he braces up in the gait. So if he goes bracy on you, instead of pulling back and stuff, go into a circle. Go back down to a walk and go to something that works. So she started gating him and he went bracy. So she came back down to a walk and worked him in a circle. So never pull back. Take the energy and go forward in a circle. That's nice. Did you ever canter him in an arena?
Yes.
And did you have a canter cue for him? Or did you just run him up into canter?
It was outside leg back, inside leg nudge, and I would make a smooch.
Yep. Because that's what she's been working on with him too. So what she's trying to do here is work him in gait till he softens up. So as soon as he starts going stiff on her, she starts working that inside hand and but she's doing leg first. So you see how he's starting to drop into the bit a little bit?
Yeah.
He's starting to raise those withers a little bit. He's starting to use his hindquarters. Now if you just pull on his head with your hands and you don't use his leg, all you're doing is building more braces in and you won't use that butt. Your legs have got to get that butt moving. See how her hand slides down the rein? So she tips the head in, and outside leg back and inside leg at the girth. Now she's asking for softness in the canter there. Can you see that, Eve?
Yeah.
As he canters, when he's in suspension, she's asking for softness. She brings her leg in and asks for softness with her hands. But if you just pull his head up without bringing your legs in, it's not going to do any good. That's when you told me he dangles when he canters. See how he's getting under with his hind end now?
Yes.
Because she's driving him with her legs. But he's got a long ways to go. I mean, he's a little bit soft in a canter, but he's got a ways to go on that too.